somewhere among the cosmos, so is Lindsay Wolfgong, who will not be appearing tonight on I Want to Believe here on the Podzilla 1985 network. My name is Shannon Young. I'm going to be your host tonight, along with the Abear twins, who are not twins.
We're 4 years apart.
Calvin Abear.
What's up?
And Alethea Abear.
Hello.
And that's the show.
Roll credits.
We took a month off, but not because we wanted to. It's because the rotation got so screwed up that we just didn't.
I don't even remember where it started, but it got screwed up 3 times, didn't it?
Yeah, it got screwed up really, really bad. And we ended up not doing a show last month at all, which we didn't realize until after the fact. So here we are, back for your listening pleasure. The best show on Podzilla, the highest rated show on Tuesdays, once a month.
Highest rated show on Tuesday. That's a low bar.
Once a month. Once a month. All
What
right,
was between this and one other show?
2 shows. There's I Want to Believe, Mr. 100 and the 5-Star Man.
That's more than once a month.
And Nerds for Hire. This show's only on once a month, Allie.
Yes, but you put as a
The other
qualifier the once a month. There's only one other show that's on Tuesday that's once a month.
No, I'm saying that once a month we're the highest rated show on Tuesdays.
Okay.
That's flawed logic.
Do you even know where you are right now?
No.
Okay. You go
I
back
think
to
we
La La
should be
Land.
asking you that.
So for those of you who haven't subscribed to our Patreon yet, $1 gets you the pre-shows. And in the pre-show, Allie was cussing like a sailor. She called everyone the F word.
That's false advertising.
She used slurs I've never even heard before to describe people. And personally, I want to apologize to the people in Uzbekistan because I did not condone the language she
Can you
used.
even find Uzbekistan on a map?
I can't even spell Uzbekistan.
Okay.
So, before we get going with the stories of the week, there are 2 videos that I want to bring up to your attention, which, Calvin, we did not watch.
No, we did not.
We mentioned watching it, so you guys are going to have to watch it along with everybody else. We've got one posted on the I Want to Believe official Facebook channel right now on Facebook. And first off, I want to apologize for not being as active on there as we should have been. It's Christmas season. We're all busy. We're tired. We haven't posted as much as we want to, but 2 interesting videos. One up right now, and I believe, Allie, you didn't see it yet, but we talked about it the other day. There's a woman on the phone with a friend in her house, apartment, whatever, and during the phone call, she's recording it. It auto records her video calls, which I first thought, okay, well, that's got to be fake because who the hell would videotape themselves on a phone call? Everybody. Everybody loves to videotape themselves doing everything, it seems. So while she's walking around talking about this completely uninteresting conversation, there is a shadowy figure in the background, and no one knows what it is. Some people think that it's a ghost. Some people think that it's like somebody broke into her house. There's even some people that believe it's an alien. And I'll be honest, the first time I saw it, I thought it was an alien. It looks very alien, like the grays. It looks very gray. It's black, but it has the gray features, big head and stuff. It's a very interesting video. I'm not saying that this is completely paranormal because it could just be faked. This could be a setup, but it's very interesting. I highly recommend you guys go see it. It's on our I Want to Believe channel right now on Facebook. The other video will go up later tonight, and this one's also very interesting. This is, I forget where it is. I want to say Canada, but it's somewhere north. A guy goes outside. He's videotaping his house. He kind of lives secluded. It's snowy. It's beautiful, and he lives next to the woods. So he's videotaping the woods because he says he keeps hearing noises. And you just hear the most disturbingly blood-curdling howls coming from the woods. And the dude sounds like he's freaking out. He's like, I have no idea what that is. It almost sounds like the werewolf from American Werewolf in London. But there's a lot of people that think it could be Bigfoot. That it could be Sasquatch, Yeti, whatever you call them. That could be one of their howls, their calls.
Is it mating season?
For Yeti? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Let me call one. I think I have Tanner's number in here. I'm going to call Tanner real quick.
I'm not sure if he'd be insulted by that or proud of that comment.
Well, that
you calling him Bigfoot.
He'd probably, he was on Mountain Men. I don't know if you were aware of that. I'm calling Tanner Calvert real quick. We're going to put him on the line. I'm going to ask him.
I don't believe
All right.
anything you're saying.
Here we go. Calling Tanner Calvert. See if he picks up. It's ringing. It's his one chance to be on the show, and he's failing horribly.
I'm going to laugh if you wake him up.
Oh, I'm going to feel terrible. All right, he's not answering. Tanner, you son of a bitch. Ah! All right. Well, Tanner, you had your chance to get on the show and you failed. Good job. All right. Check out those videos. They're coming up in the next couple of hours. Let's start off by talking about something that Asa and I were researching while Calvin was playing Smash Brothers. And this thing got weird, Allie.
At least one of us has priorities straight.
You're going to love this story. So you know how we talk about robots a lot on the show? And AI and how it's going to cause the end of the world and stuff like that. Well, I got this from the Daily Star.
Reputable
Source, the Daily Star. Up there with the National Enquirer, for sure. So the Daily Star, this article is about AI, robot technology, stuff like that, sentient robots. The campaign to stop killer robots, CSKR, which is a actual organization. Founding member Richard Moyes said death and destruction could be a harrowing consequence of AI in the battlefield. They're talking about military use of technology and how technology could become sentient, and if we weaponize it, how dangerous that could be. AI is increasingly used by nations across the globe as they attempt to get ahead in the military arms race, but Moyes warns that if robots are handed full autonomy, they could wipe out the very people they are supposed to protect. It's the iRobot thing. Moyes told Daily Star Online, it is unlikely militaries would want to use systems that present these kind of vulnerabilities. But as systems get more complex, there's always a risk that they will malfunction in unpredictable ways, possibly putting your own forces at risk. This is your classic tale of robot technology gone wrong. We're going too far. Every day we get further away from God. But in an interesting twist, while I was researching this story, the robots are coming for us again. Everyone's like, crazy Shannon, conspiracy Shannon keeps talking about these robots. While we're researching this, I found an even more interesting story because on the same website, there was a headline that grabbed my attention. And the headline was, sex robots that feel love and suffer pain when dumped, coming soon, claims expert. And I had to look into this because, of course, that is the kind of content that people are coming to this show for. So I did. And boy, does it get fantastic. This is also from the Daily Star. Sex robot technology has advanced at an astonishing rate in recent years. Last year, a report by the Foundation for Responsible Robotics showed sex bots could be customized down to the shade of their nipples and their pubic hair and perform 50 automated sexual positions. But up until now, robots have been unable to show emotion. According to Professor Robin McKenzie, Director of Law and Medical Ethics at Kent Law School, artificial intelligence and robotics will one day become so advanced that humans will create sentient and self-aware sex dolls. Human beings' need for intimacy will drive the creation of dolls with human-like emotions, and sex bots will become, quote, capable of mutuality in sexual and intimate relationships, she predicted. So what they're saying is that nagging girlfriend that you've got could one day be robotic in nature. So that sex doll that you are like penetrating because you can't get a real girlfriend is gonna
dump you.
Can dump you, or you can dump it, and it can stalk your ass. But then it gets weirder. We're not stopping there, folks. No, because not only are the sex dolls learning how to have sex and how to get like, it's not that they're just like the love dolls, the real dolls, where they're just rubber dolls that you can have sex with, or fleshlights or whatever they're called. These things apparently will actually have emotions and will actually be able to talk to you and stuff like that. And I thought, well, that's crazy. And then we found a video in that article talking about the world's first robot consent brothel. And you're thinking, what the hell is a robot consent brothel? Well, Unicron, which is the leader.
Great username.
It was the leader of an online feminist cult called Unicult, is attempting to raise funds to launch Eve's Robot Dreams, a consent-focused sex robot bordello based in West Hollywood, California. Anytime this gets so weird that you need to stop and ask questions, please do so. Okay?
So it's a sex robot to make people understand that you have to get consent.
She picked it up almost immediately. I have a much longer explanation.
It's like I'm a woman.
Apparently you're going to be unnecessary soon. So she is aiming to spread matriarchal change through the consensual use of anatomically correct sex robots, programmed to consent before intercourse with patrons. Providing that they give consent, the sex robots, designed by California-based developer Realbotics, will be available to rent by the hour at the brothel. She said that the Unicron says that the goal of Eve's as an aspect of Unicult is to spread matriarchal change through AI and robots. Unicron previously told the Daily Star Online that customers will be able to pay $10,000 to take a sex robot's virginity at the brothel. Unicron believes her business will be able to open and as an extension of her cult, which her website describes as a social framework for, quote, curious, healing, growing people who want to question the world and their realities. Currently, Unicron's funding campaign has fallen considerably short of the $155,000 target required, having raised just a little over $2,000 to date. Her unique selling point, fostering a consent culture via sex robots, is yet to attract investors. If she manages to open the business, customers must accumulate conversational points by talking to sex robots before propositioning them for intercourse. These points can be earned through private conversations on a messaging app that Unicron has yet to successfully launch. Unicron believes her brothel could be a powerful force for social change and could even reduce deviant behavior among men. Sex robots could brainwash men into asking for consent by conditioning them with the ultimate pleasure of orgasm, she said. Quote, the same way that porn is powerful, sex robots are even more so.
So, there was an article I read a while back.
Let that sink in for a second.
A while back, and it might either be connected to this in some way, but it was a sex robot that was given a more intelligent, like it could talk to you, stuff like that. And either during the trials or something, whenever they got one of these robots back, like the robots acted in ways of being abused. They acted in ways like that showed, because they're AI, they've become intelligent, and so we're seeing a lot of patterns that we also see in people. And it led to, well, we didn't expect this to happen to our sex robots.
One, I think the fact that we make sex robots is a problem. Remember that? Did you ever watch that anime Armitage? It was basically
sounds familiar.
It was like Blade Runner. It was, artificial people that question why were we created. You have
Dream
to feel
of Electric Sheep.
You have to feel that sex robots really wonder that. Like, why did you make me? I mean, I know why you made me, but why would you make me? And then let's go back to the second story that we talked about there. Why would you give them the capability of human emotion? I guess the point is that people that aren't good in social situations could have a robot that they could then befriend, actually talk to, fall in love with, and have sex with, and have a legitimate relationship. But if the technology is getting to be so good that these people are basically people, but they're robots, why not just go out and talk to people? To me, the point of a sex robot would be to have sex with something that can't give or not give consent, because, and this isn't my stance on consent. I think consent is mandatory. Obviously, that's a no-brainer. But it's a robot. This creates the whole question of, like, how human are we trying to make our AI?
If you're gonna keep making robots to be practically human, there is going to be at some point when someone asks the questions, what rights do they have?
And what rights should a robot have? If you were a robot created for sex work,
I think
this is so confusing.
I think the person that created this wasn't doing it to give robots rights. They're doing it to try and change the rape culture.
Oh, I think they're doing it to make money.
They're doing it to
They're
make
charging
money, but
$10,000 to take a robot's virginity.
They're also programming a robot to not work unless it gives consent.
Okay, that's the other thing, is how the hell do robots give consent? How would a robot
same
give
way
consent?
Humans do?
Yeah.
How do you give consent? What do you base it on?
If you want to? Like, what?
Yeah,
but how do you base on if you want to or not? Do you base it on attraction? You base it on how well you get along with somebody? Emotions? Feelings? Robots don't have those things. So how does a robot consider consent with someone? Is it factually based?
It looks like how you described it. Are they giving are they giving attention to the robot that isn't strictly sexual? Are they talking to them on the program that they haven't fully finished yet? Are they doing these other things? Are they doing like...
It's a dating sim just with a robot.
But with dating sims, you can buy gifts, you can do all this stuff. Like, how far can you program a robot to be human? Like, there have to be limitations. I saw the video of the robots they're using in this sex place. They're not human. Some of those robots that they have, like the one robot, I forget her name, but the one that can answer questions. She's been on talk shows. She very much seems like a human.
The one that went crazy
once. Yeah. These robots do not seem like that. They're giant chested. They look like porn stars, and they have set recordings that they will play back at various times. And to me, like, I don't feel that it's
like a sex Furby.
And I don't feel like a feminist online cult has the technological prowess to create a robot that is so advanced that it can give consent. This is just basically boiling down to, like you said, a dating sim. Yeah. Get enough points and you can have sex with the robot. That's not the same as getting consent. That almost teaches people that to get a consent from a woman,
you just friendship coins in and get sex. Yeah,
I buy her enough stuff. Well, she's going to owe it to me, right?
I'm not saying it's a good idea.
It's not a good idea. It's weird. Not only is it weird and creepy, but it gives off wrong impressions. And again, combine the feeling robots have, like, let's make robots that are sex slaves. We've built them to be sex slaves, but we also gave them the ability to feel pain and suffer. Combine that with the military technology that could take over. You got a bad combination.
So
you've got a robot that could blow you up, and you just broke up with her.
Much like the fact that robots can't, like, give consent in the same way humans can, they're also not feeling that pain in the same way humans can.
Yet.
It's very true, but it's very, like, it's limited. It's scripted.
Right.
It's a automated response.
And again, that is from the best minds in the world that have built robots, that they've created automated responses, and it's very convincing.
I mean, there are some AIs that can give actual non-automated responses based on what they've learned, but those aren't in sex robots.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say, is like those are the ones that are like built by like the greatest minds of our generation. This is, and no offense to the group, I don't know the group very well, but it's a group called Unicron, a feminist online cult, and you're telling me that they and the folks over at Realbotics are going to make AI so advanced that they're going to have legitimate feelings and can actually give consent for sex? This is dangerous. This is dangerous. This is a whole new level of danger and creepiness that I didn't even think of when we started talking about the dangers of AI here on the show.
Look, eventually somebody will get like an electrocuted penis and they'll be sent to the hospital and the whole thing will be shut down and we'll subvert the whole robot uprising, okay?
I would say that I would also post this video on our Podzilla I Want to Believe page so you can see the video that Ace and I saw, but I'm not going to.
I don't want to.
Yeah, it's incredibly creepy. Like, it's the guy's shirtless and he's rubbing a rose against this robotic woman's breasts. Like, I guess he's seducing the robot. I don't know. I think, God, this is a crazy topic, and I cannot believe that we are actually discussing robot sex slaves, consent, and whether or not robots, can they vote? Are robots citizens? Like, oh my God, this is nuts. This is absolutely insane. Do ghosts have rights? When the Ghostbusters trapped them and put them in containment units just for being ghosts, was that a violation of their constitutional rights?
Against the Geneva Convention?
Yeah. Where does it end? This PC culture getting rid of Baby It's Cold Outside. Like, where does it stop?
Wait, really?
Did you not hear about that?
But did they actually do it? I heard that there was some...
No, they kicked it off the radio.
Oh,
But that's a different show for a different time. Yeah.
Anyway.
So, if you feel up to it, look up Unicron. Look up, what is it called? Because their video specifically, Eve's Robot Dreams, I think is what it was called. If you want to terrify yourself just a little bit tonight, please go look it up. And
are the dolls in that Uncanny Valley area of like...
No, because they're nowhere
creepy?
Near close enough to looking human.
Oh, okay.
Like, they very much look like a sex doll that like turns its head suddenly and blinks kind of creepily, you know?
I mean, that's still unnerving.
Allie, how offensive is this to you? Because I'm not trying to be offensive. I legitimately, I don't think robots have the capability of giving consent. And
I don't
think
so
these
either.
robots do.
I also don't think that the people buying sex robots are
In it for
interested
consent?
in consent.
accurate.
Do you think that this is the path we should take for AI? Like, not just the sex stuff.
No, I think that, like, the AI Jeeves or whatever the British one, that's the path. Because he's, like, actually learning different systems. He's not based to learn one thing.
Is there no real fear, though, that the more robots learn, the more they will, one, dislike us, because we're a very dislikable race, human beings. I keep bringing up iRobot, but it's very much an iRobot thing.
Robots don't have things like anxiety and depression.
But we're trying to give it to them. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're not only trying to build robots that can help us as humans, we are actively trying to build robots that are human.
Like us, because that's what we understand and that's what we're comfortable with. And there's also something, because we are able to have things like anxiety and depression, they're in a way connected to sympathy and empathy.
True, but...
in that...
like, a robot doesn't have to be programmed with malice just because it's intelligent.
But it has the capability of learning malice.
It has the capability of learning it, but it's like a second-hand knowledge, right? So it's not part of them. It's like somebody who's blind, you describing a color to them.
I mean,
they get sort of what it is, but they can't.
I think that in itself is dangerous, because you could confuse the feeling. A robot could confuse their feelings, their intuition, or whatever you want to call it, and that could make them violent. It could make them dangerous. Again, I keep going to iRobot, but the three laws of Isaac
Robotics.
Asimov, and I forget exactly the three, but like you can't hurt a human, you can't allow a human to be hurt by your inaction or whatever. And the robots in the movie especially twisted it to where they could no longer allow humans to hurt themselves, so they had to take over. To me, that's a very real thing that could happen, because our technology, we are so dependent on our technology. Even right now, I'm sitting here on a laptop with my phone right next to me. You both have phones right next to you. Like, it's not out of the question that at some point in the future, that could become a liability. Look how far we've come in the field of AI and robotics and phones and even that stuff in the past 50 years. What's going to happen in the next 50 years? Sky's the limit, baby.
You're not wrong, but also think of all the ways that we'll have to subvert it. Like, if technology actually progresses that fast, then the fixes to the problems that technology brings will also progress that fast.
Hopefully so. Because what if a robot breaks the law? Can a robot go to jail? Can a robot be tried? You would say, well, you just turn it off. Well, does the robot have a right to live?
Well, that's what I said, is whenever we do make robots very human, there is going to be a group of people that start to ask the question, what rights do they have? What rights should they have?
Can a robot be arrested for prostitution? If you bought a sex robot and you paid for the robot, that's a prostitute.
Do they have illegal 5-speed groins? I couldn't help the Futurama comment.
I like the prospect of 5-speed groins. Okay, let's move on, because this we could talk forever about this. We got other stories to talk about. This is a very cool thing, and I don't know how many people are going to be interested in it, but I thought it was cool. Duke University, and this is from Mysterious Universe. Duke University in North Carolina is known for its excellent academic programs, high number of Rhodes Scholar graduates, and outstanding basketball teams. All of that pales in comparison to the recent announcement that Duke will now host a course through its Osher Institute for Lifelong Learning at Duke in UFOs, taught by a religious studies professor who is also a well-known UFO researcher. David J. Halpern, Professor Emeritus, I don't know that word, and I wrote it, of religious studies at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, author of 2 UFO-related books, will teach the class, which is open to all students, not just Duke students, and gives 0 university credit, which is really why you want to take the class. UFOs Encounter Mystery Myth will be offered through the Osher Lifelong Learning Institute at Duke from January 7th to March 25th, 2019. So there's going to be an actual class on UFOs at Duke University, which is kind of cool.
That is worth 0 credits.
That is worth 0 credits.
So that's how much faith they have in it.
Well, it might just be because it's not connected to a college.
Well, and I still think there's a stigma around the whole thing. You know,
also, yes.
Yeah, there's a huge stigma around the paranormal, and there always will be. That's just something that we're going to have to deal with until
why it's called paranormal.
Until the aliens actually land. And even
but then it won't be paranormal. It'll
just
be
be
reality.
normal.
Yeah.
Fake news.
Well,
Not a real alien. This is a long story.
hashtag not my alien.
Allie, this is a long story, so bear with me. But I got this also from Mysterious Universe, and I thought this was a very, very cool story. It's about the supernatural happening in the Navajo reservations. And I thought it was interesting, so there's a lot to read, so please bear with me. And again, if at any point I get a little too out there, you rope me back in, okay?
No promises.
Can you please respond?
So, you said that last time, and I completely understood it.
Sex robots.
Yes.
No, I'm not saying you won't understand it.
Okay.
I'm saying if I just get weird.
Okay.
Okay. The Navajo reservation.
I was about to do that!
Son of a bitch. Navajo Reservation in Arizona has had numerous reports of all manners of strange goings-on that went beyond the scope of what ordinary law enforcement were trained to deal with. That's my phone. I apologize. Let me turn this down. Lindsay, you're not here to do the show, so don't talk to me. Where was I? Yes. Including ghosts, Bigfoot, UFOs, shape-shifting creatures of native lore known as skinwalkers, and other assorted myriad weirdness. What is interesting is that rather than scoff at these reports or write them off, the Navajo Reservation instead went about assigning a special branch of their department to investigate such fringe cases. So what we have here is a legitimate X-Files, entirely based on the Navajo Reservation.
Which is a pretty big reservation.
It is. I don't know if Skinwalker Ranch is there. I think it is. I think that's where Skinwalker comes from, but I don't want to get that wrong. The team is called the Navajo Nation Rangers, consisting of a group of specially trained federal officers that are typically in charge of a variety of tasks, such as managing national parks, archaeological sites, and fish and wildlife services. In this case, they expanded their operations to include the investigation of reports of the paranormal, and although such reports accounted for less than 1% of their total cases, they were taken very seriously by the department. Some of the most illuminating information on these cases and the inner workings of the Navajo Rangers with regards to the paranormal comes from retired 31-year law enforcement veterans of the Arizona Police Department, the National Park Service, Navajo Historic Preservation Department, and the Navajo Nation Rangers. Lieutenant John Dover and his longtime partner Stanley Milford Jr., an 18-year veteran and sergeant with the Navajo Nation Rangers in Window Rock, Arizona, comes up from most of these stories here. I don't know if this is a collection of stories that they're maybe putting into a book, or if this is just this reporter from Mysterious Universe talking to these two guys. But some of the stuff they have in there is very cool. And again, it's very long, so I apologize. And I just hit a button. I continue to hit buttons. Okay. Dover spent 10 years investigating paranormal claims for the reservation, a sort of real-life Fox Mulder, and along with Milford, they ran across some particularly odd cases. Many of these have been weird accounts they have come across involving what seem to be UFOs and their occupants. There's two stories of, seeing lights in the sky. There was apparently a UFO sighting that was and I didn't write them down, I'm just relaying them. There was a UFO sighting that was witnessed by a bunch of people, and the UFO shot off with a sonic boom that knocked the power out in the town for days. That just a bunch of people saw. Yeah, it was very, very, very interesting. The pair have investigated hauntings as well, many times during which they directly witnessed paranormal phenomena themselves. In one allegedly haunted home, Dover explained that coins suddenly began to fall from the ceiling and pattered them like rain, even though there were no holes or vents through which they could have fallen. Which is very strange. I've never heard of that before. There was also an allegedly haunted location in which they personally witnessed objects levitating through the air and ceramic dishes exploding to send shards everywhere for no apparent reason. Bigfoot reports were also pursued, with Dover saying that one case they investigated had over 30 eyewitnesses, which I don't care. I maintain that Bigfoot is the most boring thing in the paranormal community, and I will stand by that to the day I die.
Man, that's... You tell Tanner that?
No.
Oh.
And he doesn't listen to the shows. They're just giant apes.
Yeah, I feel like it would just be an animal discovery.
Yeah, best case scenario, it's like a missing link type thing, which is great for like the scientific community.
Cryptozoology. Yeah.
Right. But for me personally, it's very boring. Yeah, unless he's ripping people in half, I don't care. I'm also getting a sore throat. This is starting to suck. Other cases they looked into are a little harder to classify, and this is really cool. I have never heard of this before. One bizarre account they described was a young woman who was driving home one evening when she noticed a mysterious glowing orb bobbing in the darkness behind her, seemingly following the vehicle. She managed to reach her home when the light sort of flickered away, but when she looked to her parking spot, there was reportedly a very large rabbit sitting normally where her car would be, peering through the night at her. The startled woman claimed that she rushed inside and locked the door, and that the next morning she awoke with a splitting headache. Dover and Milford investigated the site and would find that the car was imbued with anomalous electromagnetic readings, particularly in the driver's seat. Never heard of that before. A damn rabbit where her car was. That's crazy.
Weird.
If this was a case of a skinwalker, it would not be the first time that there have been sightings of the legendary creatures on Navajo lands, or by law officers who have come across them in the wilds of the Southwest. One New Mexico Highway Patrol officer claims that he was on a stretch of highway south of Gallup, New Mexico, when he came face to face with something he could not explain. As he was on patrol, the officer claims that a creature wearing a white ghostly mask ran up to his car at great speeds, purportedly easily and effortlessly pacing the patrol car at high speeds. A few days later, the same officer claimed that he had been having a coffee with another patrolman, and the conversation veered towards the odd experience. The original witness then found that the other officer had had a remarkably similar encounter with a spectral, ghoul-faced person who had appeared out of the darkness to run alongside the car at high speeds of at least 65 miles per hour along a desert stretch of highway before running back off into the remote Badlands. Which is awesome. Whether any of these accounts are truly of the paranormal or not, it is nevertheless a peek into another world that most of us don't get a chance to see very often. That of the police who patrol these out-of-the-way, forgotten locales where out in this forbidding terrain and surrounded by myths and legend, these officers of law are encountering things beyond their understanding and training, the things that stalk and inhabit the night, past our ability to comprehend. That is the best part of the paranormal to me, is that it just because you don't understand it doesn't mean it's not real.
To an extent.
And I have often dreamed of the day that I would be driving my car and see something like that. Back in the early days of Shannon Young being on the internet, I remember a story on, God, I forget what the name of the website was called. It was like Ghostlands or Heartland or something like that. And it was a story about this guy who was driving home and he saw these little creatures, like little humanoid type creatures, like 2 feet tall, that were behind a wall. And as he was driving, they would like kind of creep out from behind the wall and stare at him, and then they move around. And I remember being so creeped out by that story that I've always wished that while I'm driving I would see something weird like that, and I never have, unfortunately, but I'm going to keep looking. What's the weirdest thing you've ever seen while you're driving, Allie?
I don't know. You put me on the spot.
I did. You got to be ready on this show. 20 minutes of me reading, and then I throw it right to you. We're all waiting.
Calvin, you got anything?
Albino deer.
Are you sure it was a deer? Or was it a skinwalker?
I mean, after it ran into the road, I was sure it was a deer. When it was in the woods, I wasn't sure what it was.
Did you hit it?
No.
No. That's a shame.
Why?
Why
I
is
wouldn't
that a
want to hit
shame?
the deer. Yeah.
Well, deer need to die, don't they? Bob's been going out hunting like every day.
Yeah, but no. Not with my car, especially.
I would love to go to a place like the Navajo Reservation. I mean, any of those places that like are so steep in mythology and legend, because it's easy to dismiss those things as just stories that people tell. But a lot of stories are based in reality. You know, they're based on something. So what was the something? Like, what is the basis of the Skinwalker, which is a creature that can literally, you know, morph into anything that it wants?
It's a changeling.
It's changeling, yeah, by a different name. Sure. I would love to go out and check those places. I hate living in Cape Girardeau, where we have like 2 haunted houses that I still haven't been to.
We're real close to like the first UFO crash in America.
That's true. We had a gentleman on the show talk about it. Go back and look that up. It was a great episode. But, you know, other than that, what do we got? We got like the 3 haunted places, and that's it. And a cemetery. Cool.
There's a couple cemeteries.
We are close to Alton, Illinois, which is supposed to be super haunted. But again, I've never been. Are you hanging in there?
Yes.
Are you very tired?
Yes.
Well, we're going to talk about something that you... What's that?
I worked
What
a
the
lot
hell did you
today.
say to me?
Wow.
Here's a topic you should like, because it's based on one of your favorite movies. Christmas is coming up. We've got... Why are you giving me that eye?
What?
I don't like that evil eye.
What is it?
Huh?
What movie?
What movie do you think it is?
Gremlins?
No.
Well,
Gremlins. What is Gremlins based on?
little creatures.
From... They were famous during...
The 80s?
Well, yeah, she's
not wrong.
but the war where gremlins would mess up planes and stuff.
Yeah.
No, we're talking about Krampus.
Oh, okay.
Yes, or Krampus, as Allie likes to say. But Krampus to me sounds more like what a sex robot has, once a month. She gets her Krampuses. And then, okay, well, I'm
Bad
done.
joke.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bad joke is bad. Christmas is just 2 weeks away, less than 2 weeks
Oh
away.
my goodness.
No, it's exactly 2 weeks away. Never mind. Yeah, 2
Math.
weeks away. Buy me some gifts. Because I know you haven't yet.
I have.
Everyone is familiar with St. Nicholas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
You're giving me nothing. Nothing.
That's what makes it funny.
This is from National Geographic. If you've ever wondered about Krampus, because there was a movie we watched that was extremely good. It's on our list for movies this year to watch on Podzilla 1985. In Catholicism, St. Nicholas is the patron saint of children. His saint's day falls in early December, which helped strengthen his association with the Yuletide season. Many European cultures not only welcomed his kindly man as a figure of generosity and benevolence to reward the good, but they also feared his menacing counterparts who punished the bad. Such is the legend of Krampus, a German and Austrian monster that
He's real weird.
he is pretty weird.
It's like
He's-
a goat
Real
tiefling
weird.
thing, isn't he?
He's
He
a
also has a really long tongue. So if you look up old images of him, real weird.
and that's exactly what you want to get into the Christmas spirit, isn't it? I thought about
His
doing some
chain.
dumbass art story about the Christmas Carol and the ghosts and stuff, but nobody cares about that. You all came here for Krampus because you're all bad children who need to be spanked. It's getting creepy again.
In a way.
Krampus's name is derived from the German word Krampen, meaning claw. Did you know that?
No.
And
Not
it's said to be
surprised.
it's the son of Hel in Norse mythology. The legendary beast also shares characteristics with other scary demonic creatures in Greek mythology, including satyrs and fauns. I never really put it together, but it looks very much like a satyr.
Mm-hmm.
Or as I used to think it was called, satire. And then I found out satire was what I would base my comedy around someday.
Boo.
It made her laugh. The legend is part of a centuries-old Christmas tradition in Germany where Christmas celebrations began in early December. Krampus was created as a counterpart to kindly St. Nicholas, who rewarded children with sweets. Krampus, in contrast, would swat wicked children, stuff them in a sack, and take them away to his lair.
Yup.
So, here's my problem first off with the Krampus. With
If your first problem isn't that if you look up pictures, he's licking children.
Okay, calm down. We don't want you to get on that list. With Santa Claus, whenever your parents would leave you gifts, and they would tell you, "Oh, Santa Claus brought you that." You
No.
That never happened in our house.
damn. Okay, well, in my house, in my trailer, my parents would put gifts down there. What did your parents do?
They told us Santa isn't real, but don't ruin it for the other children.
But
Yeah.
they're very religious people, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that what someone told them about God?
Wow.
I apologize. Anyway, I'm on medication. Blame the medication.
It's blood pressure medication.
It's the blood pressure meds. So wait, shut up. So when Santa would come, you as a child could possibly believe that there was a Santa Claus
Yes,
that brought you gifts.
yes.
But with Krampus, it's that if you're bad, he beats you with a stick and takes you away to his lair. What happened in history where children disappeared, where you would tell other kids, yeah, that kid, the reason he's gone, Krampus took him, and that kid would believe it? Because I feel like it would be very easy to go, okay, you say Krampus is real, but there are no missing children. Logically, either everyone's good or there is no Krampus.
Yeah, but when you're a little kid, you haven't lived for long enough to know how many
Yeah.
children are missing. You don't get to go out, especially way back then.
I guess that's true. The internet today, because obviously
yeah.
nowadays the internet would be buzzing with stories of missing children, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
there are a lot of missing
All of
children.
your news came from your parents.
Yes.
God, that must have been terrible, especially in my household. That would have been bad. Where is it? According to folklore, Krampus reportedly shows up in towns the night of December 5th, known as, and I can't even bring in and pronounce this, Krampusnacht. We'll go with that.
Sure.
Or Krampus Night. The next day, December 6th, is Nikolastag, or St. Nicholas Day, when children look outside their door to see if the shoe or boot they left out the night before contained either presents, which is a reward for good behavior, or a rod, which is a sign of bad behavior from Krampus. So reflect on that
Makes
for a second.
sense.
that as a child you would put your boot outside.
Well, because they used to put shoes out to for
You-
people to put candy in.
If you're gonna start questioning things from history, there's a lot to question.
That's accurate.
They used to give each other shoes to, like, make agreements.
They used to cut you
and people.
because they thought you had too much blood when you were sick, and then put leeches on you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, leeches are a viable option
For what?
for bloodletting.
Yeah, but bloodletting is not a viable option.
Well, if you were sick, they suck the bad blood out.
Okay.
You think in 300 years, when people look back on our time period, they'll tell stories like
Yes.
this about robot sex
Very
slaves?
much so.
Yeah.
Who thought that was a good idea?
Or
Yeah.
like why we couldn't figure out how to cure cancer.
If we could just get that done faster, that would be
Right?
great. Krampus's frightening presence was suppressed for many years. The Catholic Church forbade the raucous celebrations, and fascists in World War II Europe found Krampus despicable because it was considered a creation of the Social Democrats, which I did not
That's
know.
that seems like I don't know if that's true. And if it is,
That Krampus was a Social Democrat. That he
Yeah.
had a political affiliation. But Krampus has been having a resurgence over the past few years, thanks partly to a bah humbug attitude in pop culture. Thanks, Bob. With people searching for ways to celebrate the Yuletide season in non-traditional ways. In the United States, people are embracing the dark side of Christmas with Krampus movies, special Krampus television episodes. They're also throwing Krampus parties, attending local Krampus knocks in cities like Washington, D.C. and New Orleans. I also want to apologize to any European people out there who are listening to me pronounce that word and just having the worst time.
so I think people just want second Halloween. That's what I think's going on.
And they're also running in Krampus-themed races. That's a big thing now. People put on Krampus outfits and chase people through the streets like the running of the bulls. Just they're devils, basically.
My painting professor loves Krampus. Like, whenever, because he taught drawing whenever I took it, because whenever you start being a professor, you have to teach the foundations courses. And it was this semester, so it went from Halloween to Christmas, and he just kept talking about Krampus.
I remember you telling me about that because that was right around the time the movie came out, wasn't it? And we went to
It
go see it.
was like the year before, and so like because I learned about Krampus during that time. 'Cause
We
I
had
didn't.
so many arguments whether it was Krampus or Krampus, and I still hold that Krampus is the answer because Krampus just sounds so feminine, hygiene-y.
I think you're just hung up on the word cramp.
Yeah,
You know guys can get cramps too, right?
from football.
Just
Football.
general activity.
Why are you digging yourself a hole?
It's fun.
Is it?
For its part,
Are you
Austria...
gonna put a pillow in there and sleep in it too?
Am I gonna what?
Put a pillow in there and sleep in it.
In where?
The hole
The
you're
hole
digging.
you're digging.
Okay. Sorry.
Wow.
For its part, Austria is attempting to commercialize the harsh persona of Krampus by selling chocolates, figurines, and collectible horns. There are already complaints that Krampus is becoming too commercialized and losing his edge because of his newfound popularity. So basically, Krampus is becoming Death Cab for
Hipster.
Cutie. Yeah. It's like, I liked him better before he was mainstream. Idiots. All right, last topic of the night, and it's something that I've been wanting to talk about for a while. We missed the show last month when all this came out. So, what?
The asteroid?
It is.
Okay.
Yeah. This is from CNN. A mysterious cigar-shaped, and you probably heard about this, a mysterious cigar-shaped object spotted tumbling through our solar system last year may have been an alien spacecraft sent to investigate Earth. Astronomers from Harvard University have suggested. Harvard. This isn't like SEMO or Shawnee Community
Yeah,
College.
but-
Harvard.
They suggest it's not an alien spacecraft. They suggest it's not from this solar system.
Which it's not.
it's
confirmed.
Not. Yes.
Yeah.
And it changed its trajectory more than off-gassing should allow. And
And it's suggesting that it was an intelligent design.
well,
not
but
just
it's
an asteroid.
yeah, because it's shaped weird, but it's also tumbling through space in like the least. It wasn't going fast at all. It's not
Maybe they had one of their really low rank pilots.
just
And
drunk
he-
at the wheel.
Yeah, and he's just like floating through space now going like, help! It's Space Titanic, basically. The object nicknamed, oh, here we go, Oumuamua?
Oumuamua.
Oumuamua, meaning a messenger that reaches out from the distant past in Hawaiian, was discovered in October 2017 by the Pan-STARRS 1 telescope in Hawaii. What the hell was that?
Some motorcycle, I think.
That scared the hell out of me. Since its discovery, I'm slurring my words, scientists have been at odds to explain its unusual features and precise origins, with researchers first calling it a comet, then an asteroid, before finally deeming it the first of its kind, a new class of interstellar objects. A new paper by researchers at the Harvard-Smithsonian Center for Astrophysics raises the possibility that the elongated dark red object, which is 10 times as long as it is wide and traveling at speeds of 196,000 miles per hour, might have an artificial origin. Oumuamua may be a fully operational probe sent intentionally to the Earth vicinity by an alien civilization, they wrote in the paper, which has been submitted to the Astrophysical Journal Letters. Calvin, you seem to disagree that it's alien in nature.
I don't necessarily disagree that it's alien in nature, but I don't think it was a ship.
Okay, so I just want to point out that while we're discussing this, Allie picked up the extra mic stand and looked at it like she had no idea what it was.
There's, like, it's
Residue on
fraying
it.
in places, and yeah, there's...
Anyway,
So
it sounds like it's going fast, because you said...
196,000 miles per hour.
Yeah. In space, that's really slow.
That's half the speed of love.
Sure. This concept of love confuses and infuriates us. So it's going really slow. It's not only rotating, but tumbling end over end. It's shaped longer than anything could be realistically shaped in space and be traveling through any kind of debris field.
Mm-hmm.
And so when it passed... we didn't notice it until it was, like, way too close.
Yeah, because they thought it was something else. It wasn't until it got closer that we realized what it actually was.
Because its light kept changing because it was tumbling.
Right.
But as it passed by our sun, asteroids do a thing that they call off-gassing, where it heats up and it goes from a solid state to a gas state, and that pushes asteroids one way or another, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So a change in trajectory is expected. The change in this one's trajectory is more than, like, triple what it should have been.
Yeah. Something about the solar sails.
Yes, that was brought up, but
you read the article, you're going to hear the word solar sails mentioned about 50 times. I don't know if... First off, what is a new interstellar object? Like, if it's not from our, is it not from our universe? Like, what exactly is it not from?
Our solar system.
Our solar system.
So in our solar system, we have a set amount of planets. I don't want to argue about Pluto. A set amount of planets. We have multiple asteroid belts. No object in our solar system, moon, asteroid, even a lot of our satellites. Actually, all of our satellites can't qualify for this because it's 10 times longer than it is wide.
Right. It looks like a ship.
Yeah.
It looks like a ship.
Yeah. That is weird. And nothing should naturally form that way. And if something broke off from a bigger thing in that shape, the thing it broke off from should now be a big enough debris field to break it into smaller pieces.
So you think it's intelligent design?
But, like... Who sends something tumbling through space like that? That's this has to be like, we don't need that piece, just let it go. Like,
well, I mean, could it be that, and this is reaching, but we have so many satellites, and I mean actual satellites, in our orbit, around Earth, that just kind of tumble, you know what I mean? Like they're because they're old, they don't work anymore. There's debris in our solar system that does that. Could this just be a satellite or debris from a faraway civilization that has just over time passed into our solar system and is now tumbling around us?
Possible.
But you don't think that it's literally what they say it is, that an alien life form sent it here on purpose to study us?
If they sent it here on purpose, I don't think it is operational anymore. I don't think it's doing what it was intended to do. And if they sent it here on purpose, why didn't we get any kind of signal pickup?
Could it be, I'm just playing devil's advocate here, could it be maybe it is a ship that maybe the people that were piloting it died in some way. Maybe interstellar travel ended up killing them. Maybe it's a test run by another civilization, and this ship is just it's a ghost ship just floating through space.
I mean, that's a theory or hypothesis, but why would it change? How would it change trajectory then? That's the confusing bit. Is it
Why?
seems to be a piece of debris that is unusually shaped for anything that we've seen in our solar system, that came alarmingly close to Earth, close enough to our sun to off-gas, and changed trajectory enough to be questionable about exactly what it is.
Maybe a drone that got out of control?
Maybe. Or, like, I don't know, maybe they're using, like, slingshot technology, and so it tumbling is just a natural, like, what?
We can't really, if it is something from another galaxy, another civilization, we really can't assume anything about it.
It's probably still from the Milky Way. It's just a different solar system.
Okay.
Very
FYI.
important.
Yeah.
Another solar system, a different civilization. We can't assume anything about it because we can't even assume anything about them.
Well, we can get spectrographs of like what its compositional makeup is, which is why they noticed it in the first place, because the light kept changing.
Where is it now?
Right now I have no clue, but it's not in our solar system. Well, it's heading out of our solar system. Not sure if it's made it out of our solar system.
Because I wonder, I mean, if it just passed by and it's still going, could this be a long, and I want to say long con because that's the first thing I think of, but just a long-term maybe mapping or just, you know, something that's just
why didn't
traveling
we get
through.
like some kind of signal of it mapping or any
maybe our
kind
technology can't, our technology can't.
It's different technology.
Like maybe we just can't read it the same way that we can't measure paranormal activity or ghosts or anything yet because we don't have the right frequency, we don't have the right waves. I don't know. I think when you're dealing with an alien technology and an alien life, like Allie said, I agree. You can't assume anything because they may be on a whole different wavelength than us. You know what I mean?
It's true, but but it seems natural, right?
Yeah.
Because it's just tumbling through space. The only bit of control over it was when it changed trajectory, when it slung shot off of our sun.
Maybe that's its trick. They'll never think we're an intelligent civilization if we're just...
So you're saying they're going incognito?
If we're just completely drunk and...
if we look like we don't know what we're doing, and then they almost died by flying into the sun. They're like, okay, we need to save ourselves.
I feel like if it is intelligent and designed, that maybe it's an automated system. Like, I mean,
I could see that.
It's an automated system that's trying to fly and is failing. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. Maybe where they're from has different rules where the pull or the gravitation. I don't know.
Well, if it's an automated system, it probably has an AI guidance system,
right?
Which, to an AI, tumbling head over head doesn't. As long as you can calculate all of the torque and everything,
it doesn't matter
to
it.
Yeah, it's just more equation.
Right.
So,
and, they love their equations. And sex, apparently.
Oh, my goodness. Are we going to go full circle?
Maybe this
alien
is full
sex
circle.
robots?
What if we're trying to send a message to ourselves from the future saying, don't build the sex robots?
Is another solar system trying to pick us up with this?
With this thing?
This thing?
I've often dreamed about. I hoped that I would live long enough.
You know, it is cigar shaped.
To see. Clinton got hard immediately. I was hoping that I would live long enough to see contact with another race, like another civilization from the stars. That's my dream. Like, above all things, I would love to see like actual confirmation that we are not alone in the universe. But because it's so massive, it's so vast, it's endless, which is impossible. That you can have an endless universe that's also expanding and also wasn't there to begin with and also came from nothing, but also came. It's weird.
You understand why religion's a thing now?
No.
Well.
Kind of.
You just ruined like all of history, like early prehistoric history, is all based off of.
If it weren't for the fact that there were
Like
so many
religious
different religions
understandings.
that all say they're the right one, maybe. But
Okay, what I'm asking is, do you understand why people search for religion?
yeah, because they're trying to find answers.
They're trying
Yeah.
to answer these questions that you just asked that
Right.
you can't really answer.
No, you can't. There is absolutely, and I know we're getting kind of off topic, but there is absolutely zero explanation of existence that makes sense. Zero. It's impossible. Existence is impossible. Don't you dare. You look like you're going to say something. What do you got?
Well,
If you say Big Bang Theory, I'm tossing this laptop out the
we
window.
exist. That's a pretty good reason for existing.
Is the fact that we do exist.
Yeah.
I guess that's, I guess, throw my arms up. I hope that this is a sign, because there's also like the Black Knight satellite, which
Yeah,
no
and
one knows what that is.
So, when I first read this, my initial thought was, is this like something checking in with the Black Knight?
Yeah, like maybe it's from the same
Yeah.
civilization.
Because the Black Knight doesn't look like any kind of...
No.
It looks like a piece of rock
Yep.
that is just stuck in orbit.
Right. But
in like a stupid, crazy, impossible orbit.
because it returns every so often to basically spy on us. And no country has claimed it. No civilization knows what it is. And it's been up there for a very long time. There's pictures of it. There's video. And nobody knows what the hell this thing is.
And it's
And
real hard to even get close enough to get a video.
yeah, how
Because of the orbit it's in.
how are people not more scared of things like this? Like you hear about the Black Knight satellite. You hear about Oumuamua, which is flying through the sky at a at a slow pace that is relatively slow to the universe. And then you have on top of the UFO sightings, we actually just passed the 1 year anniversary of that massive UFO sighting over the United States that even our good friend Mimi Prino saw. You know, like maybe that's none of it's connected, but maybe it is. Are we on the precipice of contact?
You want to
Could
know
be.
why it doesn't scare people more? It's not directly affecting them at the moment.
Oh yeah.
That's
If
accurate.
that thing crashed on the Earth and aliens popped out, everybody would be talking about it.
Everyone would care, but right now they're just trying
Or if the
to get
signal
through
coming
the
off
day.
the Dark Knight actually made any kind of sense.
If it just put a message that said coming to destroy you, yeah, people would be taking selfies with the Dark Knight or Black Knight. Is it Dark Knight or Black Knight?
I think it's
Black
the-
Knight.
Dark Knight. Because I think it's named after it's not named after the Batman movie, but it has the same name as the Batman movie.
I feel bad that I can't remember it for sure, but I am a little out of it right now. I think I had a heart attack or a stroke right before the show. So, if you take anything away from tonight's episode, is that
Shannon's dying.
Shannon's dying.
Don't buy a sex robot.
Don't buy a sex robot.
Well, just don't buy a sentient one.
I don't know if that's better or worse. Because now you don't have an emotional connection with it. It's
Just don't buy a sex robot.
don't date, don't meet people. The truth is
Live
out
in
there.
fear.
But live in fear of everything. The aliens are coming to get us. The cops know about the ghosts. It's like, man,
All of our fans are now agoraphobes.
I don't understand people that don't take an interest in the paranormal, because like there's so much stuff beyond what you see that may or may not exist, but the point is that it could, and it's way more interesting than what's happening in reality. Trump's going to build a wall. He's going to shut down the government. They had a huge fight today on camera between Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, and President Trump. It's bad. I will stick to UFOs, aliens, and sex robots.
So while you're saying, how are people not more afraid of these things?
We're actually
There's
terrified
another
of them.
person that's going, how are you not afraid of what's actually in front of you?
I've been doing, all right, so legitimately, I've had that people ask me that. Like, how can you read so much of this? How can you watch so much of this and not get freaked out by it? I have been doing journalism since I was a teenager. Like, even before I was a journalist, I watched, I covered. Humanity is trash, and I know they're trash, and nothing they do surprises me or scares me anymore. Now, the day will come when a regime will take over the United States, or maybe they already have, and they will put us in a position where I will be afraid. But right now, we have enough checks and balances to at least keep us relatively safe.
What if it's an alien regime?
I welcome our new alien overlords. No
Correct
fear.
answer.
Yeah, no fear. I think that would be a fun time. All right, we are out of time tonight. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to I Want to Believe. It's always a fun time. We'll see you in a month, which makes me sad because this is my favorite show to do because I get to say all the weird shit I want, and there's no Asa.
You get to talk about
there's no
sex
Jesse to stop me.
robots.
They would never talk about sex robots on another episode. Maybe Thursday.
Maybe Thursday.
And we can get really in
Why
depth
not?
there.
Do they not like sex robots?
Well, you saw how uncomfortable Asa was. Just watching that
That's true.
video.
That's true. He kept walking over to me like, let me not be here right
Yeah,
now.
let me just watch you play Smash. It's safer. Tomorrow we got Pro Wrestling Unscripted. I honestly don't know what the hell's happened in wrestling this week.
Maybe there was a sex robot.
In wrestling?
I would not be surprised. From what I have learned about wrestling since I've started watching wrestling, I would not be surprised.
It would definitely be Lucha Underground or Chikara. It wouldn't be WWE. They're not there yet. Although they did run an angle once in WWE where Triple H dressed up as Kane, and it was footage of when Kane went to his friend's funeral that her name was Katie Vick, and he was in love with her. And Triple H has the Kane mask on. He's at the casket, and it's a doll dressed up like a cheerleader, and he starts like fondling it, and then he climbs in the casket and has sex with it, and has like hamburger meat. He's like, I screwed her brains out.
What?
Yeah, it's one of the most embarrassing. If you ever want to like piss off a wrestling fan or embarrass them, mention Katie Vick. That's all I'll say. Go into that rabbit hole, listeners.
I knew there was a reason I didn't watch wrestling.
Yeah, it was bad back then. It's not great now. So tomorrow, Pro Wrestling Unscripted, the best. Patreon.com/Podzilla1985. $1 gets you the pre-show. It's a lot of fun. Some of our best stuff.
Screw a sex robot's brains out?
I mean,
would he just be holding
can you
like a
screw the-
motherboard?
where's
The AI out?
Yeah. Podzilla1985.com to catch up on the old episodes, and then Facebook.com/Podzilla1985. Also check out I Want to Believe on there. We'll have those videos up. All right, I'm getting the hell out of here. This is weird. It's the weirdest show we've ever done. Hey, guys, have a great week. And if this is the only show you listen to on the Podzilla broadcast, 1, I'm sorry. 2, have a Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Feliz Navidad, Happy Hanukkah, Festivus for the rest of us, and of course our favorite, the Hanukkah's. No, what the hell? There's Hanukkah zombies, and there's the robot. Kwanzaa robot. Yeah, happy Kwanzaa. All right, yes. Later. See you tomorrow.